enforcement of your claim, are you putting anything in your, after you've done your claim, like if, maybe some UCC file, or, not with the UCC, the guy could say, like, if you don't allow me to enforce my claim, then I would maybe, do a public notice on you or something like that, which would be a UCC filing. Something like that on the bottom end of your claim. Something like that, are you thinking that way too, or?
No, the system's too simple. All you have to do is file your claim. Like I said, once the clerk of the court lady has the claim, and you create a summons for them to appear. And summons is kind of a tricky word, because it means that somebody's granting you power to drag somebody else in off the street. Like, you just don't have to grab people off the street unless he's causing you harm at that particular moment. So if he's hurting you at that particular moment of time, you have every right to put your hands on him. But if he's not hurting you, like an imminent danger or threat, you don't have the right to put your hands on him. So you have to summons him to appear. And then the clerk of the court, see, that's where you have to get kind of be happy with the clerk of the court. Because for her to issue that summons, she's actually has she's going to turn that summons over to the sheriff's department, and a deputy's actually going to touch somebody and drag them into that building for you. Also, you kind of want to work nice with these court clerk ladies. I mean, you got to put them, back on their heels and say to them, with like I said, what I first said earlier about how you get paperwork just to be filed, and then once it's filed, then you go for the summons to have the person appear, and then everybody already knows. With the default judgment kind of thing, I still want them summons to appear. I don't want them to win by default, and I don't want to win by a summary judgment. I want to win by that person being dragged into that building. And now they're standing in, my name's Karl Lentz, I want them standing in the Lentz court. And I'm telling them for the last time, you're either going to answer me or settle this matter, or we're going to let the jury render its verdict down upon you. And then it's done for all time. There's no appeal, there's no void judgment, there isn't a dog, is like sick in the hospital, or none of that nonsense. It's over. So I'm still going to want them to summons them to appear. If they don't appear, I'm going to tell the sheriff to find that guy and drag him into this building so he can hear it out loud. I'm going to read and press it upon the record in open court under oath or affirmation. And it's going to be done for all time.
Okay, and the other thing that says maybe it's sort of a...
Well, wait a second. Hang on a second, because you asked me about how to enforce it. So once it's been witnessed by somebody that the court clerk assigns, somebody in a black robe, she's going to sign that person or that man. It could be a file clerk who witnesses it, especially if they know there's really nothing going to be going on. They have temporary judges. They have people who just, like, hey, they can call up across the street who's an attorney and say, hey, we need you to come over here and sit on this thing for us real quick. Like being a magistrate. They call up a magistrate at 2 o'clock in the morning. She's also a school bus driver. She's also a school cafeteria nurse lady. And, and she's a magistrate at 2 o'clock in the morning. So it's just different hats they wear. So it's like, hey, we just need you to sit on this case because nothing's really going to happen anyway. So that's what I'm trying to say. So then all you're doing then is the jury's going to hand down their verdict. You're going to hand it to whoever the clerk assigns to sit to hear witness of what's going on. If you take a look at any standard like court orders, you'll see it says like witnessed by, and usually a judge signs that. And underneath it, the court clerk signs her name, and she puts the seal of the court on it, and that's your judgment. And then that judgment you can stick on your fireplace or your mantle and look at it forever, or you can go down to the county sheriff's department and you do a writ of attachment, and then you could tell him what you want him to seize. And then you tell the clerk of the court, once you get the judgment, well, like I said, I'll skip the step. Once you get the judgment, then you could file for a writ of attachment. And then the clerk of the court, she will stamp it and say that there's been a judgment against you for, whatever, 50 cap. And then say the clerk of the court witnessed that, one of its, somebody that they delegated to hear the matter witnessed it go down in court. Now that they got the judgment for what the jury said, okay, 50 cattle is to go back in this man's hands. What'll happen is then the judge, you go to the clerk on a writ of attachment, and I want the sheriff assigned the matter of collecting the property. If it's not 50 cattle, say it's $50,000. What the sheriff will do, if they have a writ of attachment and they have a warrant for the debt, what they will do is they will go in onto that person's property and they will take every single thing off that person's property. They'll take everything and they'll put it in, auction it off until that $50,000 debt is, goes back to you until that judgment is satisfied. So that's the enforcement part. So it's the sheriff's department that does the enforcement for you. They're the posse.